hate from everywhere. Hate from Portugal. Hate from Texas. Hate from California. Holy shit, man. This is really bad. This is sounding really bad right now. Anyways, the reason why this stream is a little bit later than usual today is actually because I just got off the phone. I just got off a very important call with a man many people here know, a man many people here know very well and are very happy to see, and his name is Fiboswani, and that rhymes, and it's also true. And also, he had some pretty big fire to be bringing to the next video in this whole massive iteration that we've been kind of having here for the last few years. So this one is going to be released tomorrow, and well, I'm very much looking forward to it. And well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The picture is changing a little bit. The picture is indeed evolving, but that is good. You know, that is what does happen when, you know, you are doing very long-term analysis, very, very far out. But I think many people are going to be quite excited and quite happy to be seeing that. Disdain from Toronto. Yes, very Canadian, very diplomatic. I dislike you, sir, but that's okay too. Anyways, yeah, man, you know, Bitcoin following through a little bit here. We'll obviously get into a more prolonged Bitcoin analysis a little bit later, but basically everything that we spoke about yesterday is just following through. And now we wait. And again, that does not make me bearish, okay? Bearish refers to actual trends. You know, that would be like a big, massive downside girthy red dildo move where the massive red dildo pops out of your bunghole and out of your mouthful just like a damn popsicle stick. And this is not necessarily the case, at least for me right now. But yes, I do think Bitcoin can spend some more time going sideways and down. If that's okay with you, just relax. Just relax. Bitcoin will do its thing. All you need to do is have a bit of patience, a bit of fucking patience in your life. When does it go up? It's like, fuck, man. Sometimes you read comments from people, not really people in this community, but like, especially when I go on crypto Twitter and like I go onto like a big creators page on Twitter, and then I'll like go into their posts and then read the comments below, and you're just like, holy shit, these people just think that the market either goes from like 0 to 100 or from 100 to 0 in just one day. It's actually insane. Like, what the actual fuck? What the actual fuck? Holy shit. Anyways, a lot of familiar faces in here today. Very, very happy to see Tony Powers, Mr. G Unit, fucking G Unit, man. Ben's Chair, Clay's Garage. Good morning to you, man. And again, massive credit to Clay's Garage for finding BNB versus BTC as the only coin that we've found thus far that actually does have macro cycle higher highs and higher lows versus Bitcoin. Who knows if that'll continue this cycle, though. So far, not so great. Natch Bonds, what's up, man? We got Gunzy. We got When Was Now. When Was Now? That's a hard one to say. Biff the Bear, Erica Crown, Nano Cave. Yes, the Nano Cave. Hate from Ebola. I don't think that's a place, but but I got Ebola and the fucking Zika virus from looking at some of these goddamn charts. I'll tell you that, man. Very bad. Trader Sosa, good morning to you, man. Yes, indeed. Let's go, Mr. Swanee. Let's fucking go. And Mr. Cowboys, John, dude, Gallo, there he is, one of my favorites. Always good conversations, man. Always some good back and forth. I love it, man. I love it. I'm just kind of cruising around markets here, and I did notice that traditional markets made a new all-time high this morning, or yeah, just this morning, at about 9, or when exactly was this? This must have been right before market open. Let's see. This was 9. Oh, no. My time zones are all fucked up here. God damn it. I'm still in stupid ass Finland time. Fuck that place. Let's go to a real place. How about this? Where is New York? Yes, there we go. Give me the New York time zone. There we go. Okay, so 3 a.m. Yeah, so this is very, very early morning. Now kind of coming down from those, but yeah, overall, you know, traditional markets make new all-time highs. Is that a bad long-term sign? Yeah, totally. Going up is super bearish, obviously. Is it going to be a little bit of a pullback in the short term? Yes. So make sure to definitely lose your mind and sell everything right now, because we're at all-time highs and have pulled back less than 1%. Amazing. You're going to lose it all. I mean, Biff the Bear says your meta signal saved me from longing a day ago at 120. Nice. That's good. At the end of the day, though, understand meta signals, as with anything that really we speak about on this channel, is always statistically and probabilistically based. There's never 100% scenario, but of course, when you have a meta signal setup, it can be very, very useful because it gives you the higher probability scenario, essentially, and also when to know if that is going to be invalidated, thus the other side happening, which is, in my opinion, just as important important and just as valuable to know, man. So yeah, MetaSignal's been killing it recently. Of course, you know, their long signal has just been fucking on fire, and even their short signals recently as well have kind of hidden their own stride, because those were a bit of an issue before, but now they do seem to be getting those pullbacks within the trend, which is difficult to do, to be honest, because generally, you know, you want to be on the same side of the trend. Whenever you trade against a trend, like, you're just asking for a massive red dildo or green dildo up your bunghole, whichever one is going to hurt more is typically the one that does come. But yeah, man, where the fuck is your camera? I can't masturbate to this. Well, I'm glad you asked, sir. Yes, the rat face will be coming back very soon, but unfortunately, my fucking Amazon order continues to be delayed. So I think I'll have it before the beginning of next week. In fact, it should be arriving today. It was supposed to arrive like 2 days ago, but whatever, man. Amazon dropping the ball on that one, but that's okay. It's okay. I don't actually have the best desk for this right now. The Vegan Skunk Gaming. We demand verification. That's right. I've been replaced, and this is an AI crown. And honestly, AI crown probably better than real crown anyways. Hate from Oregon. That's right. I actually went to college or university at University of Oregon, so I'm very much familiar with Oregon. Fun times for college. Probably wouldn't live there though. Holy shit. But it is beautiful. I mean, holy if you want an insight as to what Finland looks like, it's Oregon actually. If you go onto like the countryside, not obviously the cities, Portland is a good insight into what hell looks like actually. But it's like modeled after San Francisco, but even worse, I think. Anyway, Stefan Milicevic says, good morning, sir. Ethereum pullback targets areas. There's actually a good Ethereum setup yesterday on MetaSignal, so maybe it was the day before that. No, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. And I think all of those targets were hit. I mean, look, if Ethereum wants to pull back here, just kind of answering one really quickly because I saw it outside of my eye. Look, this thing could pull, I'm not saying it's going to, but it could easily pull all the way back down to like 41 or even 4,000 even. And that's still a higher low. Like, this is fine long term, but short term, you know, this one's had a pretty epic run. In fact, now that I look at it, the 5-day time frame is disconnected with the red 5 EMA significantly. That's all the way down at about 4,200. So, you know, if it does stall a little bit here, go sideways, and then play at a corrected move to like low 4,000s, that's fine, man. That's fine. If you're on the very short-term time frames, you know, in the short term, do I think it retests the lows from yesterday? Probably yes. I think Bitcoin's going to do something relatively similar as well. And my personal bias is that Bitcoin will break those lows, but it's not going to break the overall range. And as always, I need to be very careful with what I say, because anytime we talk about downside, people think, oh my God, you're so bearish, man. Why are you so bearish, bro? Why are you so bearish, man? Why are you bearish, bro? My coins need to go up, and if you're bearish, then that means it's gonna go down because your opinion actually matters. It's like, oh my God, dude, it's just fucking probabilities. But most shitcoins, unfortunately, go to shitcoin hell. And I don't make the rules, okay? I don't even hate the shitcoins. Look, I just hate bad charts, all right? I just hate bad charts. I don't hate your favorite shitcoin. Your favorite shitcoin is the best one. Don't get me wrong, for sure. It's all the other shitcoins that are bad. Lazy shitcoins don't do shit. Just sit there on their porch doing nothing, stealing everything, taking my bites. Goddamn shitcoins, fuck them. Please don't cancel the nano cave. Speaking of nanos, where are those nanos? Is nano even a thing? It is still a thing. Holy shit. Let's see. I'm definitely getting banned from YouTube off that one, man. Holy shit. That one in the bull flag comment. Fucking bull flags. Fucking hate them. Kidding. Okay, it's a flag. All right, it's a technical analysis concept, nothing more. All right. Yeah, Nano is doing great. See, this was funnily enough, this was actually a very very hot cryptocurrency from cycles beyond, and well, never again probably. Anyways, that is the destiny of most of these shitcoins. Yes, they do get their bounces. Yes, they can be very epic bounces. They can be very big percentage-wise bounces, but is it ever going to reclaim these highs? Absolutely. So go all in and make sure to not have a stop loss as well. And also use extra leverage, more leverage than you can ever have with even extra leverage. Take on a fucking loan, man. Take on a loan at, 8-9%. No problem. You're going to make it back. And sell your wife to ISIS because they pay well. I don't think they're very well funded. To who? ICE. To ICE? I don't think ICE buys wives, actually. I identify as a bull flag, and I take offense to that. Sorry. I apologize, sir. I apologize. There goes the neighborhood. My favorite shitcoin is obviously the best one. That's exactly right. Whichever one is your favorite, that's the one that's not like the other ones. That's the one that's the 1% or the 0.01% that is going to go to the moon and beyond and continue with the long-term trend for forever. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Anyways, now that I see it here, IBIT. Yeah, IBIT did, oh, no, it did make a new high, yes, but coming down rather aggressively there. Yeah, I mean, this one very similar to CME chart. At some point, the IBIT chart is going to be the best chart to analysize, but it still is in lack of long-term history. But it's going to get there at some point, you know, give it another few years, and this one's going to be the primary chart to be looking at. You can see the 55 coming in alignment with that last low as well, so that's going to be a nice area. If Bitcoin or IBIT does get down around there, you know, that's probably Bitcoin somewhere down around like 114-ish, give or take a little bit from that. ICE went to heaven to get all the immigrants per South Park episode. Oh, man, I haven't seen South Park in a long time, man. I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't even have, like, cable anymore, so I don't even think I can watch it. Asti says, morning, Florida. What's up? What's up, Asti? Good morning to you. They were all hot for a day. We had one alt season for a couple days. Everyone goes crazy. Crown, you're wrong. Alt season is here. Look, I'm not saying alts are going to get their bounces. They are. They are. And they have. But I don't expect the long term to change that much. Let's see. I'm just here for the pure madness that is you, says Chris Payne. I'm glad to hear that, man. We'll see how long it takes for me to get banned on the YouTubes. But so far, so good. Surprisingly, very surprisingly. But look, my words I've chosen very carefully. I never intend any offense. If you take any offense, I apologize for that. But it wasn't intended. So that's your problem, not mine. Anyways, that's something that you couldn't really even say a few years ago. But nowadays, you can say all sorts of stuff. You can say midget and retard again. This is great. We've gotten the words back. The words are once again here. They're mine. They're ours. You can use them, but I don't think we're getting the other F word back, the other flag word back. I think that one's gone for good, man. But you know, that's fine. That's fine. We need to have a give and a go, and that's fine with me. South Park is on Paramount Plus. How many fucking streaming services are there nowadays? For real. I own actually none of them. I just watch YouTube, honestly. I fucking love YouTube. YouTube is the best, man. You know what I watch in the after hours is I watch Lord of the Ring theory videos and history, like super nerdy history videos as well. I love it, man. I fucking love it. Can't get enough of it, man. Give me the F word now. That's right. I'm not saying that one. No. Hey, Mr. Pow Pow. That's a nice try right there. Sometimes I do read the comments without thinking, and that one would have got me. I've seen retard used as a diagnosis. I mean, that really is what it is. It's a scientific term. The doctors of the chats will know, and the medical people of this chats, like Ben's chair, will also know that retard. I mean, it used to be. You're like, if you're held back, you know, if your learning ability is held back, you were retarded, and it's just a descriptive term, and that's not like fuck you, you know, I hope you die or anything like that. Like, Jesus, who the hell thinks that? But no, well, I mean, some people obviously think that, but it's like, man, it's just a word. It's just a word. What's up, fam? It's Ant-Man from 2018. Fuck yeah, man. I'm very glad to see the OGs in this cave, man. Anyone who's been, wait, what? You're definitely watching the airplane mechanic Lord of the Rings guy? Maybe. I don't know. I watch so many of these guys. I don't really know their names. I see their videos and I watch them. Redacted as Slang of the Greeks. Is it really? Oh, Slang of the Geeks. I thought you said Greeks. I also love Greek history as well. My Greek homies will know. I've read all of the fucking books and I watch those videos too. I just love the history videos, man. I really do. When early streams start? Yeah, we're going to be getting it back around 9 a.m. Like I said, today's a little bit later just because I was doing an interview with Swanee right before this. So I'll release that interview tomorrow. And fair enough. Anyways, we'll get into Bitcoin in just a moment here. Just give me a second to sip some more of this water. Okay. Yes, Mr. Sequoia, I think you figured out which one it is. I remember back to the Estonia days. Honestly, man, I really liked living in Estonia because I was living in like this ancient castle. I mean, not ancient, but medieval castle. And for me, as like a history nerd, walking through those castle gates every day and, you know, you're walking through these buildings that are, you know, 600, 700, 800 years old. I couldn't get enough of it, man. I fucking loved it. Elsa said that she hated it. But the apartment was nice. It was very nice. The apartment was great. lot of drunk people at night. Yep, there's that. There's that as well. Anyways, let me get my notes over here, and let's get through this one. Let's start it off with a revisiting of some daily price statistics, letting them load. I don't know why my windows continue to load. Anyways, yeah. So on yesterday's video, we were looking at a couple things for the daily price statistics. We were looking at Thursday as one being the most likely day to close negatively since this bull market began. But more importantly, we were looking at the average negative return. And at the time, Bitcoin was kind of flirting around it. And obviously, you know, if you see a close above or below the sort of average return range, whether it be to the upside or the downside of it, it's a signal in and of itself. Because when do you actually see, when, like, if you think about it logically, when are you most likely to see price close outside of what is expected on average for a positive or negative closing day? Well, what does that imply? It implies that something new is going on. And if something new is going on, well, what can you extrapolate from that? You can extrapolate that price is making more of a, I don't want to say trend because it's not a trend, but more of a momentous move in that direction that is likely to get follow through. Yes, that is the right way to explain it. And we saw that exactly yesterday because the range was like 119,800 or something like that, and Bitcoin closed well below it. So that does give me a further bias towards the downside, among the other things as well. And once again, today we can see that Friday is actually favored in terms of positive closures. Again, since this bull market began, personally, I think that this one's a little more likely to close negatively. But as always, I'm not so interested in that. I'm interested in the average gain and the average loss. I do think the average gain is going to be rather unlikely to see today. Again, not impossible, but hey, rather unlikely. To the downside, however, the average loss would put us somewhere around about 116,400. So if you do see Bitcoin come down around there today, probably a good place to actually be expecting at least a little bit of a bounce attempt on the first pass. On the second or third pass, I don't know, but on the first pass, you almost always get bounce plays or just, scalp plays from these. So again, if you are more of a short-term time frame scalper, I think that this tool is like super, super useful. You can see all of these wicks coming in around, these levels as well. So there's a lot of opportunity for those trades. But yeah, again, 116,400 to the downside. If Bitcoin were to play that out, again, that's just a range, a range average move here. Doesn't mean all that much. Bitcoin would really have to close below that number today in order to confirm continuation of this move from the high, which would be really, 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 really a powerful signal here, just because you'd have 2 days in a row that see the same thing. That is going to give added influence towards further fall through to the downside, probably at least to the bottom side of this range, effectively your August lows. Going on from there, again, yesterday we were looking at the potential for regular regular bearish divergence from the high of the 13th of July to the high of yesterday, and that indeed was confirmed. And Bitcoin also simultaneously closed below the red 5 EMA, which was sort of our bias buster for saying, hey, right now it's kind of a time to be a little bit more cautious. Yes, it is bullish as long as Bitcoin's above it. You're just likely to see new upside price, and we did see significant new upside price from the reclaiming over here. But the second that Bitcoin closed below it, that does start to initiate a lot, the dominoes for fall through to the downside. And so that one did occur as well. Yes, Bitcoin did bounce off the yellow 21 EMA. Again, that's very, very common. Like, you almost always bounce off of these major moving averages on the first pass. But now, Bitcoin being held by the red 5 EMA is a signal of, in and of itself as well, alongside that regular bearish divergence and alongside very low volatility on the daily time frame as well. So I do think that we have a real potential here for a play to the other side of the range. And on top of all of this, I'm on the wrong chart here. I'm looking at United Health. Meant to buy this when it was like $50 lower, but I was a derp. Focusing on my moving, not on my long-term investing, but missed opportunities. Anyways, looking at the daily stochastic oscillator, this one also failed to pivot yesterday, thus turning to the downside for the first time in quite some time. I mean, the last time we got a fresh turn was about a month ago, actually. And that one remains with downside momentum as long as Bitcoin's closing below 121,850. For CME, that number would be 119,600, and I think that number is actually a better one to be going off of. Effectively, as long as Bitcoin's below there, yeah, I do think Bitcoin is more likely to continue on with his sideways range. Yes, long term, I don't think that the highs are in. I do think that Bitcoin, continues to rally long term, but in the short term, in these next couple of weeks into the end of August, I still think that Bitcoin can come further down. So that begs the question, how much further down? And for that, I go back to the same setup that we viewed, many times in the past couple of weeks here. It's the same shit over here, right? You get that cross between the red and the yellow moving average, and that green moving average becomes a sort of minimum price target for a correction. And again, I am sort of trying to anticipate with a LARP line here where that would be if I draw it out at current trajectory. It would basically be around those August lows, by the last week of August. So, I'm still kind of looking somewhere down around there. LARP line's more or less, in my opinion, right here. And, we've seen this many times. This one happened over here. Yes, this one did not make a new high, but it did come down about 3 weeks later, fulfilling that test of the green moving average, which is what just has happened very, very often for this setup. In fact, I mean, every time for this setup, to be fair. Again, another example over here. This one takes about 19 days from entry to that exit on the 55. And if you just want to see like a quick sort of back test on this strategy, since this bull market began in 2023, these have been the results. It's been a profitable trade, actually 83% of the time. And again, it's really the sort of interplay between those two, those two moving averages and then the target and then the time that typically transpires. I'm not saying this is a great setup to play. Yes, it would have been profitable, but I think that it's highly unoptimized. So again, fast forwarding out here, still probably looking, further out. That would give us a whole nother week of probably Bitcoin, doing something like this. If I had to guess, maybe it bounced a little bit, maybe it comes down, it can take its time. It can take many different paths. There's going to be many different twists and turns. They're going to be bounced along the way, obviously. But at some point, somewhere around those August lows is still where I'm generally looking towards. And then after that test is fulfilled, do I think that we could have, some real upside potentially to new highs? Yeah. Is it going to happen exactly from that point? I don't fucking know. But that's at the point where I'd say, hey, this is now. I need to choose my words carefully because I was going to say investable, but that completely depends on your disposition. But, now it's like, look, if you're looking for a position, I mean, that's now sort of the timing of it makes sense. Whereas over here, we were kind of having our skepticism about that. And, in my opinion, I think that was warranted. Again, this doesn't make me long-term bearish. I think that a longer sideways price action consolidation here sets up Bitcoin for a more healthy long-term upside move. And in fact, that was a big focus of today's video that I did with Fibbo Swani, because we're both sort of noticing that Bitcoin is really liking to play out these sort of big stair-step moves, which is a good thing long-term. That's a sign of a maturing asset. And ultimately, it does, in my opinion, it's going to prolong the market cycle. And, targets can get higher and higher, I suppose. Anyways, I see some comments about Lizzo. I actually saw a news story about Lizzo yesterday. In fact, let me show you right now. This was a very interesting news story. Elsa found it and then she sent it to me, and I could not help but share it with this community. And the flight was a United flight was canceled after a female passenger, Lizzo, very likely the suspect, destroys bathroom with biohazard diarrhea. I don't know who this picture is over here, but look. The one who made the title should get a reward. I mean, biohazard diarrhea. Have they seen my shit? Like, they don't know what biohazard means until they've seen that. Because I have destroyed. Okay, one time, I will give you a story. One time, I was flying from Iceland to Chicago. It's a very long flight, okay? And before the flight, I ate at the Iceland airport what I thought would be very healthy food. Very healthy, very fresh, very organic, very nice food, because they should have high food standards, because they're, one of those lefty lib countries that should have that sort of stuff, and they're European, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I go to the store there in the airport, and I grab what is basically raw salmon. I thought it was smoked, but it wasn't smoked. It was raw. It was raw salmon, and I ate it. I ate lots of it. It was, by the way, extremely expensive, about $60 for probably 10 ounces or something like that. It was actually insane. It was actually insane. And everything was fine for the first hour. After that, everything was not fine. I go to the bathroom of that airplane, and I absolutely unload without any mercy on that toilet. I unload so bad that the poo splashback hit my own underwear, and I had to throw that away as well. So I went the rest of the flight bare balls and very smelly. And at that time, I was not flying business class. So there was someone sitting on both sides of me, smelling all that beautiful, amazing, American biohazard diarrhea. Incredible. Also, you could do the same with Taco Bell. I destroy my bathroom every morning with biohazard shits. I'll tell you the worst thing about America, the absolute worst thing about America. No bidets! Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Never shake anyone's hand here. Disgusting. Jesus Christ, man. You would think a great, amazing country like America would have the most best thing from Europe. This is really the highlight of Europe, and not even every European country has it. I went to France. We went to France before we came. Before we came, and France does not have bidets. Very bad. But also French, you know, they stink. Everyone knows this. French, like, they smell very bad.
I thought it's a Europe thing.
It's a Europe. No, it's. I thought it was a Europe thing as well, but I've been proven wrong, and very disastrously so.
So it's just not your thing, so we're clean. We're the cleanest.
Yeah, the Nordics have it, and they're the clean ones, which is good. Look, this is good. We like this. Every country has their thing. Finland has its highlights, and it's the bidet. You can shake men's hands there. It's okay. No one's going to shake your hand, though, because Finns are extremely antisocial. And if you're Finnish and you're watching this, you know it's true, sir. You know it's true. You know why? Because I lived in my last apartment for 3 years. And you know how many times our neighbors would ever say hello, or in Finnish, it is moi, to me? Almost never. Almost fucking never. This is not funny. I know it's funny, and this is not funny. Fuck you, unsubscribed. All right, well, I guess goodbye, sir. I apologize that the video is not to your liking. I suggest you leave, because no one's forcing you to watch this shit. And if you're new here, maybe there's an excuse that you didn't know. But if you're not new here, you already know what you're getting into on this channel. You're getting into a silly goose time with some price action statistics. That's all. That's all we give a fuck about here. Silly goose time and price action statistics. Anything else, go fuck yourself. Bidets come from France? Not in my hotel. All right, let's get to some of these shitcoin comments. I mean, highly esteemed altcoin comments. What could we have today? What could we have today? All right. Let's see. Mr. Cartman's BTC is first. Says, hello, Sir Crown. What's up, man? Can you please take a look at stock DFDV? Actually, yes. I even have this one on my list. Maybe it was you who brought it up, but I thought it was an interesting one. This is like a Solana DeFi or something in traditional market. Look, I don't like what it's doing right here, just to shoot it 100% straight. You know, I do think that this one's at best heading into a more prolonged consolidation, and it probably just hit a local high right here. I don't like the short-term rejection right around the 55 and 21 while they're in a bearish posturing. So, you know, maybe it kind of flails around here for a little bit, but I do think it will come back down to test these lows. I don't know if that's relevant. Oh, no, it is relevant to you because you're on the lower term timeframes. Yeah, 4-hour time frame. Same shit as well, man. Ultimately, I wouldn't even consider that revised until you're back above about 20 and a quarter on a daily closing. On a daily closing basis. Until then, I think you're consolidating on the lower blocks, and at worst, I mean, this is a downtrend kind of setting in, right? But yeah, major hidden bearish evidence here. Wow, going all the way back to 18th of July. Nasty. By the way, I forgot to go over an invalidation for Bitcoin because there always needs to be one. Like, what if Bitcoin flippy flops around and does something different? You'll know that Bitcoin is absolutely massively, catastrophically bullish if Bitcoin can pop back up above about, I would say, 121 and close the daily dodo above there. Until then, you know, bounces are just that, bounces. I don't know, maybe you could even front run that at like 120, 250 or something. But yeah, it's got a lot of work to do. I'm not saying it's impossible, but as always, there needs to be some sort of an invalidation because any trade setup, any sort of trade idea can fail. There is always a non-zero probability of such things happening. There is a non-zero probability of course, a black swan as well. 10 sigma events do happen, just not very often. Anyway, Steven Shiprian says, how is Doggy looking? Well, we shall see. Bearish divergence on the last high, being held by the 5 EMA right there. Similar to Bitcoin, I think that is coming back down somewhere around, next area of interest would be 21 and a quarter. I personally don't think it'd stop there. I think you're probably looking at the next low coming in somewhere around here. Okay, let me get rid of all this shit. I'd be looking at the next low likely coming in somewhere around here, assuming it does come down. Again, only way that I'd invalidate this if it pops back above about 24.5 cents. Until then, I think that these things are setting up for short-term corrective moves similar to Bitcoin. Again, it doesn't necessarily make me like long-term bearish or anything like this. Like this is still okay. Like it's not like terrible. It's just, a bit of short-term downside. Plays out a sideways range, something like this. Tom Struck says, good morning, sir. What's up, Mr. Tom? NVIDIA daily weekly. Yeah. Okay, I got you. I have this one on my list, but I'll just type it in here. NVIDIA new all-time. Jesus Christ, man, this thing just never stops, does it? Look, I'm never going to be bearish on a stock that's basically making new all-time highs for forever, or since forever, I should say. Is it a crazy rally? Yes, absolutely. Am I getting signals here that the rally is getting a little bit tired? I mean, yeah, at some point you're going to have 3 drives of bearish evidence on the monthly time frame, but I think it might give one more strike up towards this 195, maybe even $200 number before that plays out. You know, just go for the round even number. Quarterly is obviously not bearish. So yeah, it's like if you do get pullbacks, I think they're just going to be that pullbacks before further upside, you know, and if it does pull back, where would my target be? First one would be 170, pretty obvious one. Below there, you got 163 region. So depends, you know, how and where it, you know, approaches from there, or, you know, what sort of time frames you're looking at. But long term, I don't have anything bad to say about this chart as of right now. Yeah, and and then you'll say, hi, dildo snatchers. Gold versus, or sorry, silver versus gold. Okay, yes, I do know my atomic elements. XAG, XAU. Let's see, can I just plop this in there? No, I need to do it the old-fashioned way, I guess. Okay, this is actually not that helpful of a chart. Funnily enough, it looks like TradingView doesn't have a native one for this. You'd think they would. XAG, XAU. Yeah, it's actually, yeah, you can't get silver versus gold. And if I do it this way, then it just gives you this. So I actually can't even look at it. We can look at both separately, because why not, man? Why not? Tom's an OG. Gold, you know, I'm just not going to be bearish on it as long as it's above that red 5 EMA on the monthly. Yes, it looks like it's setting up for correction here, but, and it really does look like it wants to correct a little bit lower. But what does silver look like? Because all it needs to do is just outpace silver, not necessarily. Okay, silver does look objectively better in the short term. Yeah, silver does look better to me in the short term. Like it has more to go here on the short term. So yeah, if I had to play one in the short term, it'd be silver over gold. But both of them, I'm not necessarily bearish on. Like I could see a correction on gold, while silver maybe tries another upside move, something like this, man. Probably splitting hairs a little bit here. Stefan Milicevic says Ethereum pullback targets. Yeah, I think we already kind of went over that as we addressed that earlier. So all good there. We demand beavers are greater than ducks. Fair enough, man. I really don't care. To be honest, I really don't care, to be honest. Yeah, I honestly, even when I was going to University of Oregon, like I went to a few football games and I'm like, this is the GAY word, because why should we fucking care? Like these are my classmates playing, and I don't know. I mean, like I appreciate athletics. Like that's cool. It's cool that you have good athletics and everything. Like I actually really do appreciate that. Like that's cool. But I'm not gonna fucking be a cheerleader like some fucking automaton moron redact. Like that's just weird. It's fucking weird, man. And those are kids now, man. Those are fucking kids. Okay, but you're a cheerleader. Like that's different. That's your job. Anyways, yeah, man. Yeah, and it's really fucking weird to like even pay attention to the college sports when you get older as well. It's like, what? Like these kids are like 15 years younger than me. I don't give a fuck. But fair enough, man. Hey, if that's your thing, don't let my hate dissuade you. Fucking enjoy what you want to enjoy, man. Who gives a fuck? Mike OX Long says, Arrow Daily Weekly. I want abundance in my bunghole. All right, well, let's try our best for some abundance in the bunghole for Aerodrome. Great name. Actually, not bad. Did retest the highs over here, so probably going to be a short-term pullback, but this is not bad for a shitcoin. I mean, this is infinitely better chart than most shitcoins. Yeah, you know, probably does pull back a little bit in the short term. If it does, maybe like 120, 1.25. But wow, wait, whoa. Why does these time frames look so different than the monthly? Overall, I don't think that the rally is done to the upside, like long term. I do think short term you might get a bit of a pullback. If it does, maybe like 1.25 to 130, but I think that this one still goes higher. I think that this one gets to like 170-ish region. Yeah, and then I'll stop it from there. You actually might have abundance in your bunghole. It's very possible, man. It's very, very possible. But I'd give it a little bit of time here. Not looking terrible. Clay's Garage says, GM, is there a second blue buy on the hash ribbons? Like a more recent one? I don't know. I can see. I can check. Let's see. Let's see. It actually would be quite useful if there is one, because that would help with a bias as to where the next low is going to be. No, there's not. There's not. The last one was the last one that we spoke about. That was on the 22nd of July. And the most relevant low to that was 107. So to me, that says, you know, if we do get a pullback, don't be expecting that much lower. Yeah, fair enough. You can get wicks below. Just don't want to see closures below. Gandalf was a Hobbit lover. How about that for a theory? I mean, I've always had a fantasy about Gandalf and like a Hobbit sex tape, or you know, that could be cool. I won't expand on this. John Dude says Litecoin USD is 120 going to hold on the daily. Let's see. It's always not a bad idea to bet against Litecoin, but there is a time in every cycle when Litecoin does get its own nice rally. Is going to hold 120. It's already below 120. I think Litecoin's setting up here for a correction. This looks like a good short-term high to me. I think that this thing could even come all the way back down to like 100-ish, 105 region, 100 to 105. But I'd really be looking for a bounce from there. To be fair, I mean, the higher term timeframes are not really bad here. Yeah, they're not really bad here. The problem is it's very difficult to bet on Litecoin long term just because it's a perennial loser. But look, if it comes back down to low 100, I think that's completely fine. It's all about the quarterly here, and the quarterly I do think will trade further to the upside than what we've seen already above 134. I think that this thing will at least get to like 150. So yeah, you know, if it does correct short term, I don't think it's going to be anything like super serious. If that even happens to begin with, I mean, that is kind of a big if right now, but. Yeah, I do think that it does correct a little bit here in the short term, just personal opinion, and then tries again to the upside. Let's see. Adam Raja, 8695, says, GM, good morning to you as well, sir. Can you check out PAPPLE on the daily 3-day? Okay, this is a new one. You know things are getting crazy when you start to see new shitcoins. And this is Pineapple Coin, another food token. I like pineapples though, and Pineapple actually having a pretty good chart. It's been around since February, so very new. So it's always difficult to trust these newer charts. But at least compared to, you know, even some of the newer shitcoins, at least it goes fucking up, man. At least it goes up. That's what we like. So yeah, definitely not the worst. Do I think in the short term it's going to come back down here? Yeah, I think it's going to come back down a little bit below, maybe 1 cent. But I'd be really looking for it to try to hold this region that you saw from the last couple days. Maybe tries for a higher low there and then reverses, but yeah, very short-term corrective. 3-day time frame, yeah, I think you're going to bounce around here. I don't think you're really going lower than the current low. Like you might retest around that low, maybe it goes slightly lower, but I don't think you're really going to be closing below that. So yeah, fair enough. Abri Tana says 640 watching and 125 likes. Please, people, you're getting hey, man, I appreciate that. It's all good though, man. If you want to like the video, like the video. If you don't want to like the video, all good. Just hit the like button twice. It's all good. Anyways, Pisa says, hey Crown, what are XRP targets be in this pullback? Let's see what XRP is looking like. Already down to like 310. We did say that a pullback to $3 last time we looked at it was likely. It's already kind of gotten there. If it does want to dig a little bit lower, I'd be looking 290. That's kind of the obvious area. It's still a higher low as well. Like it's not super problematic. And then back above yesterday's high is going to be at least my signal for a breakout to likely new highs. But yeah, you know, if it comes back down to like 290, that's fine. Yeah, that's all I really got to say about that one. At least this one's made new all-time highs this cycle. Raynow 97 says, hey Crown, good morning. What's up, man? Hope you're doing great. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I hope you're doing well as well, sir. I'm looking for an Indian stock. Thank you for specifying the market here. So GENUSPOWER, okay, on NSE. Sure, man. Daily and weekly. You know, similar actually to a lot of cryptos. Like I do think that you have a local swing high in here, and you're going to be coming down in the short term, but it's still an uptrend. You still got higher lows. You know, even if it came all the way down to like, let's say 275, that's still a higher low, man. It's not really bad. So, you know, your next obvious targets, in my opinion, are about 317. Maybe it tries for a low there, below there, about 275-ish, I would say. That's on a monthly, by the way. You're on a daily, weekly. So yeah, you know, I do think that it'll do something similar to this, but again, it's not really bearish unless if it actually goes below the lows from March, which, you know, it's possible, but I don't think that's going to happen, at least right now, or at least like 210, let's say, give like a nice round even number. But yeah, in the short term, do I think it plays out a pullback? Yes. And if it can get back above this high right here, there's, at least in my opinion, the signal for a new all-time highs. Crypto Ninja says UPXI, stonks 5-day pretty please. Just one at a time, sir. Just one at a time. UPXI. Really don't like this. Holy shit, fuck bad. Look, if you're playing something like this, like it makes sense if you have insider information or you really like the fundamentals or something like this and it's like a long-term trade. That's not what I'm going off of, obviously. But if you like that, hey, more power to you. But if I'm just looking at this chart, it's fucking god awful, man. Like you don't go from $100 or over 100 to $7 and just be like, hey, all good. We get to go back up now. No. To me, this is just all rallies fail. Bad long term. Maybe you get one of those pops like a shitcoin does, but that's a different game, man. It's not my game, and I personally would avoid something like this, like the plague. Yeah. I mean, maybe it gets another pop here, tries again towards $20, but who the fuck knows? I would not stand by this statement at all. The only thing that I'd feel confident in saying on this is that whatever pop it does get is going to fail. In long term, it's just more down. Roll P says bull or bear flag on ASX. Next. We can never be sure, sir. So this thing, I'm guessing it's this thing. Yeah, long term, kind of similar to last chart. Just don't like these things. You know, you might get an epic pop, but they all fail. They all fail, and this looks like another pop that wants to fail as well. In fact, I think you even have the conditions ready for hidden bearish divergence. You have higher highs on RSI with lower highs on price action. So, you know, this area right here looks more likely to fail to me and come back down than it does to continue. Yeah. Again, it's just hate this sort of shit. Can it reverse? Yeah, sure. Where would it actually reverse? You got to get back above your August 2023 highs. That's almost a 2x from where you're at right now. You're going to hate me if it does pop up. It's just, look, I want to showcase like how much work it has to do. And like, there's so many other things that are just easier charts, easier trades that you could be jumping onto in literally one of the most powerful bull markets of all time that has just been straight up and 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 up some fucking more, up your fucking bunghole. But you decide to go with AXS. I don't know. Maybe you like the fundamentals or something. It's a different game. I don't know. Again, not my game. What's up, Mr. Gallo? Gallo says DOGUSD, not doggy, but dog. Okay, on Gay.io. Sure, man. Wait, no, sorry, dog. I almost did it again. All right, where's Gay.io? Yes, this one. Again, sir, you're in a bull market, and you like to choose the chart that goes down. Why? Why do you do this? Why? Perfect lower high on hidden bearish divergence right at the 55. Exactly where you expect if something is an absolute piece of shit that wants to fail. Not you. You are a beautiful person. I love my conversations with you, Gallo. This chart, however, don't like. Very bad. Another dog coin. I'm guessing it's a meme coin. Sir, there are actual legitimate projects in this market now that if you even want to play the shitcoin roulette, you don't need to do this stuff. Weekly, lower high after lower high, right around the 55. To me, that is a long-term bearish signal, more likely to come back down to your April lows than it is to reverse here. Can it reverse here? There's always a possibility. What would reverse it? Well, in this case, I would have a strong bearish bias as long as you're below the price action pivot, which is Sunday's high. Yeah, man. You already know. I don't like this kind of shit. Let's see what else we got in the comments over here. Why? Because it's the next Bitcoin. I fucking love you, Gal. That's a great comeback. That's a great comeback. Stock Tesla, or TLSA, Tiziana. All right, I can look at this. I really like looking at stocks, honestly, because like at least they kind of do something different. Nice local high here. This one wants to come down to like 180. Maybe tries for a bounce there. Weekly says, yeah, it might try for a bounce there, but I don't think it's going to put in a low there. Weekly says maybe like 160 off of this bearish divergence. Yeah, I'd probably be aiming towards that. Is it turning the corner? I mean, you do have a weekly uptrend here, so that's good. I just think you're going to pull back a little bit more in the short term. Erica Crown Nano Cave says, Crown, please check my shitcoin that only goes down when generational wealth. I know it's like a joke, but you know, you would be really surprised because I've also been involved in other communities as well. I won't say the names because everyone can guess them, and I'm not trying to like talk shit about these people or these communities. I'm really not. But that is like a very common notion. It's just like I have a chart that literally only goes fucking down, bro. When is this thing gonna go to $100? It's like it's at fucking 20 cents. Never, maybe, never. I always pull back to this one. Remember, bro, you just don't know the fundamentals of Arweave. I know the chart is fucking garbage. Amazing. 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 Tesla? Yeah, let's do some Tesla action. Tesla's always fun. You know, overall, I actually do like Tesla as a chart. I like the hidden bullish divergence here. Yes, it still needs to complete by the end of today, so I'd like to really see it not close negative for the week. If it could close above 337, that would look pretty good to me. But overall, man, like I think this one's gonna be fine. Yeah, it's already traded above last month's high. I'm a lot more inclined to say, hey, this is a new higher low being constructed here. You're more likely to see 400 than you are perhaps 200, but where would I change that opinion? Very obviously below $300. I changed that opinion. Until then, yeah, something like that, man. You want to look at Cardano short term. All right, we can look at Cardano. Cardano actually had a pretty epic move to the upside. Let's see what it's looking like in the short term though. So short term to me means like a 4 hour or an hourly. Not terrible actually. I mean, it's just consolidating after having a pretty epic run. I do think it does have some downside here though. Maybe back down to like 90 cents even. But I wouldn't be getting like, I wouldn't be looking like super far down. This is the low that matters in my opinion, which is the price action pivot at 87.89. If you do start to close a 4 hour delta below there, then maybe it cracks a little bit lower towards like 83, 84 cents. But for right now, follow the trend. It's actually reversed into a nice uptrend on the weekly here. So I respect that. And I'm always happy to change my opinion when something does happen like that. So yeah, this one actually changed around a little bit. But still, it's got a lot of work to do. And again, this is your long-term chart. Like, just not going to like long-term charts like this. But hey, if this bull market really gets going, could this thing maybe head up to like $1.50, $2? I guess it's possible, but that would be like a very long-term thing. And again, that's still well and far away from the $3 high. Pepperoni Jabroni. That is a really good name. Oh my God. That is a really good name. Pepperoni Jabroni says, Crown Sir, do my stinky linkies have enough gas left in the tank for a higher high in the weekly? I think we looked at it a few days ago and overall it was good, but I do think short term was a pullback. Yeah. A higher high like for this week? I don't know about that, man. But do I think it's going to head higher overall? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, you're testing I have this area circled off here because you basically tested the last sort of closing high on the monthly. So pulling back from that is like, it's to be expected. It's not a bad thing. I think it can pull back more. Certainly as well, but I'd just be looking for a higher low. I think that this thing will pull back more, by the way, to like at least $20. But long term, do I think that it tries higher overall? I do. This is based off the monthly. I think that this thing could easily head back to like 30 plus. But this might be, many weeks. No fucking all capitals, sir. You do all capitals, I fucking ignore. I ignore, sir. Jojo Trades Crypto says 200 subs, Sir Crown. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. People don't understand. Like, this channel never was intended to be anything that it is now. Like, I started this channel because I was on a very, very strange place called the Bodybuilding Misc forums, where shirtless men would make posts to each other about their cryptocurrency investments. And I was into, really into weightlifting at the time. And also I was, at that time, I was a professional trader, or I was a professional market maker. And I was looking at this and I was just getting into cryptocurrency. And I was like, oh, well, I can give my opinion there. Like, I like talking about this shit. I don't have really anyone to talk about it with. And, I was like writing out these fucking long ass posts and, it was taking a lot of time. And then one day I just said, this is stupid. Like, I should just make a video on this. So I'd start to make videos on YouTube and then send it to the people in the forums. And then I started doing live streams and then people just started like watching. That's crazy. I went onto the internet and people started watching. Don't know what the fuck that was all about. I was talking about dildos and all kinds of crazy shit. I think I even one time showed a picture of like anyways. kind of grew out of nowhere, man. I remember when I first got to like 500 subs, I'm like, holy shit, this is insane. And then it went to 1,000. I'm like, what the fuck even is this? And then Elliot found me, and from there it just went crazy, like absolutely crazy. Anyways, yeah, man. What else we have? Jasmy. Oh god, I already know this one's gonna be absolutely amazing. Great, because they used to have the fucking shill bots in my comment. Like, look, if you want a great insight into, wow, I wish I had my soundboard right now, man, because my voice hurts too much to represent how absolute dog shit this is. Like, this is linear chart. This is log chart. See, that's the problem. People look at log chart and they're like, hey, it's great. And you look at the linear chart and you're like, hey, it's actually maybe the worst chart we've seen today. Terrible. Just terrible, terrible, terrible. Terrible. Unbelievable. Jojo says, you still talk about dildo, sir. I watch you from 1,500 subs. I know, man. That really hasn't changed all that much. It is super crazy. I remember people would always be leaving comments like, you should really speak more professionally. My fucking mom would like watch my stuff. I don't know why. Like, it's just, well, she just wanted to watch, I guess. Not really content for her. And then she'd send me like these long hate text messages about, you should really watch your language and be more professional on the internet and represent yourself in a better way. It's like, all right. Do you still watch Deep at all? No. I mean, I have it on my list, I think, but I don't really watch it. We can look at it really quickly though. Like, why not? Really good bounce on this one, to be fair. I mean, probably among the better bouncers, but do I think that this thing's more likely to like just go up here or come back down here? I think it's more likely to come back down here, but it's not bad. Similar to Sui, I would guess. It's not really bad. I think it just has more time. Like, this is very obviously morphing into a very healthy consolidation. And so, you know, it can afford some downside and still retain with its higher lows. So, you know, long term, I do think it, you know, probably does break out to the upside. But, you know, hey, if it took out the low from July below 12.5 cents, okay, yeah, super fucking bearish. Send it to fucking, you know, single digits, 5 cents for example. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, you know, I like to focus my stuff on statistics and probabilities, and I understand that's not going to be for everyone because, you know, what I've really found for the channels that are most successful on YouTube, what people are getting from those channels is not necessarily like great analysis for the most part. What they're getting is certainty from someone, because someone will just represent an idea typically based off of patterns, which is fine. Like, look, if you want to use patterns, like, fucking fine. And then they'll say like, this is going to happen. And in my opinion, you can never say that in trading ever. And if anyone's even traded for like, I mean, shit, like a fucking few weeks, let alone years, you know, the truth is that it can never be 100%. It can be very high probability, but it's never going to be 100%. So I always want to be representing things in that way. And I understand some people are just not going to like that because they want certainty, and that's fine. You can't actually have certainty in this game. You really can't even have certainty in life anyways, so these people are fucking doomed from the get-go. But hey, there's plenty of channels out there that will give you all sorts of false senses of confidence that is completely fucking wrong. And I think you all know what channels those are, but fair enough. Non-Simpatico says, I'm still watching, baby. Fuck yeah. Look your mouth. Look your mouth. My mouth. I'm looking. I can't actually look at it. Is that a mum token, or am I just reading this wrong? Is there a mum token? No, there's not. I've been trolled and I didn't even realize it. I'm an idiot. I am the redact. I'm still useless. Still doomed. Crypto Rect RD says, you read my mind. Useless on the daily. Useless. All right. Useless coin. Amazing. To be fair, though, for something called useless, better chart than most things we've seen today. Okay, maybe not most, but then a lot of things. It's called useless, and it literally is better than most things. I'm trying to figure out where it is in the grand scheme of things. I really do want to be biased towards calling pullbacks here, but this one's been a strong actor. I mean, it made new highs on this rally. this morning compared to most things which are correcting. So that is relative strength, but is it going to push on through here? I mean, I do see this level as kind of relevant, and it's right there right now. So if it is going to turn down, this would be the place to do it from. And you do have bearish evidence build, or no, you don't even have bearish evidence on the 4 hour. All right, fair enough. I could be massively wrong about this one, man, but if I had to choose a place for it to pull back, it'd be this area right here, especially with extreme highs on volatility coming into there. You know, again, it would just be higher low watch for something like this, but overall, I mean, the daily's still good. Like maybe I'm being too cautious on something like this. Daily is actually fine. The other higher term timeframes don't have enough history to be fair, but I would still go off of this highly esteemed horizontal level right here, 34 and a quarter. If you see a closure above there, okay, send it back to the prior highs. Probably even just makes new highs at 50 cents, but this would be a really good place theoretically for a pullback. Just my opinion on this one. Thank you for that, Mr. Mikes. Oh, it's down. Let's see where. What I am not looking there. Okay. It's like one down. I'm not on your page. All right. I find. Okay. Wait, what? Okay. Loving the new stream times. Awesome, man. Yeah, glad to hear. I'll probably even make it a little bit of a change in the upcoming months as well. But yeah, can you look at SHX potential price targets? Without any time frames given, I really don't have a good way of doing that. And to begin with, it's already a hard thing to do. But yeah, this is really, really good. For a shitcoin chart, probably one of the best today because it's actually making new all-time highs. Best I can do for something like this is just Fibonacci extensions. You're already at the 1618, so not a bad place for this thing to pull back here. And to be fair, it would have bearish divergence on the weekly. So if it does pull back, it can pull back like easily to a quarter, maybe even lower. But it's still higher low. You know, long term, if it continues, areas I'd be looking at is basically 4 cents. But again, I think you're more likely to pull back here first before a real continuation try. So yeah. Yes, I did. BERT. We will do BERT now. The BERTs. Yeah, I think that one's more likely to pull back in the short term. Another one similar. You know, in the short term, I think it's more likely to pull back. In the long term, you know, you do have an uptrend here, so it's not terrible. But does this thing pull back down to like 4.5 cents? I think that's rather likely. Many drives of bearish divergence on the 4 hour RSI. So I think that would be a pretty good target. If it does head lower than that, 3.5 cents is where I'd be looking towards. But yeah, not terrible. Not terrible. At least it goes up. Nice. Okay, Asti says, to chartist, I trust not to blow. You and Ben, I'm guessing you mean Cowan. Yeah, you know, I appreciate that. You know, there are other really, really great people out there as well. I mean, one of the, honestly, the Pizzino brothers, I think are great. Jason is more long-term and his brother Michael is more short-term. Yeah, you know, those guys, you can always trust them to like give you a real opinion. Like they're not just going to fucking say, hey, it's going up because that makes you feel good. And if you feel good, you're going to watch more of their videos. Like, I love it that people watch my videos, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really make a difference because, well, I can tell you straight up, man, if you're trying to make money straight up from YouTube, you got to make so many YouTube views to make it worthwhile. It ain't happening. At least not for me. Anyways, Noah Reason says black bunghole or black hole. Black bunghole, black hole. It's called black. Okay. Black hole. Bung black hole. Oh my God. All right. I actually think I've been watching this one because it's Elliot Shitcoin. Yeah, man, you know, we looked at this one like back here at the last week of July and I said, I do not like what this thing is doing. And I still don't like what it's doing, to be honest, man. I can tell you this, you know, I do know Elliot personally. He's one of my good friends in this market, among my best friends in this market, you know, alongside Jason and all those guys. I love those guys. But, you know, as far as the chart goes, you know, I'm not going to fucking lie to you just because he's my friend. I don't like what it's doing here. I do think it still has lower to go. He explained it to me the other day, actually, in a message. He was explaining like, look, this thing's new and like people are just fucking, I don't know. There's something about like the way that the emissions work for this thing, blah, 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 blah. I don't fucking understand this shit anyways, but there's just a lot of sell pressure, you know, people, getting their gains out. Fair enough. I think it has lower to go. You might see a rally in the short term to 55 cents, but I don't think this thing's stopping, there. And a daily is honestly a little bit too new on this thing. So yeah, I mean, pretty nasty downtrend setting in here. At some point, it'll get an epic bounce, but this thing, you know, if this thing is going to reverse, I think it's going to take a long time, honestly. So like you might get a bounce here, maybe not, I don't know, but I still think it has down to go. You know, once it actually does hit the low, you're going to get one of those long sideways, and then it tries the upside. So I don't think that there's any rush on this thing. Again, Elliot, don't hate me for saying, I know he's not going to hate. He's like a reasonable person. He understands charts are just charts, man. And I can also be massively wrong on it too. But yeah, you know, this thing there's just a lot of sell pressure on this. Non-Simpatico says, Eurodollar. Actually, yeah, let's check it out. Opinion market impact on prudent Trump. I don't fucking know about that shit, man. And no one knows, man. That's when you get into like talking heads type of shit. Cause it's like, I made a tweet about this the other day. It's like ESPN. It's like, if I'm going to give my opinion on that, do I have any insight into what they're going to do? No. Does anyone have any insight into what they're going to do except for those two guys and maybe their closest circle, of which I am not? No. So if I talk about that, I'm talking completely out of my ass. At least if I talk about price action, I can, you know, I have something objective here to be speaking about. As far as Eurodollar goes, overall, I think that you are kind of in a toppy region. Do I think it maybe gives one more strike to the 200 simple on the monthly here at like 119.5 to 120? Yeah, definitely possible. But I do think that this is a toppy region here. I think that you've seen the majority of this rally long term. Yeah. And again, you know, here's your long-term trend. It's been down only since 2008. So am I going to call a reversal here? No, I'm not. Yes, you have a higher low in place, but you do not have a higher high. Your last high was right here. So as long as you're below even 1.25, like, I just don't think it's wise, personally. To be front, I think it's better to be looking for a major high right here and come back down. Yeah. But again, that's going to take a long time. It's a fucking monthly and a quarterly time frame. So very, very long term. Oh, you're talking about short term. I don't fucking know, man. 4 hour, probably a little bit more upside here. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see it make another high on this rally, but I think the upside is limited, man. Gallows Bag says Hertz monthly. Okay. Hertz Global Holdings. Intelligent investor in Buffet say buy when cheap. It seems to always come back to $20. As I've been getting into more of the long-term investor game myself, I understand what you mean. And yeah, you know, if you believe in this company long-term and you like it, you know, especially if you like the fundamentals, is it cheap? Yeah, I mean, this has kind of been your bottoming area for its life, going back, you know, more than 20 years. But I don't think that's the game anymore. I think that the game has changed since the global financial crisis, and it's a game of liquidity. So that means that growth stocks are the ones that are really going to be having the gains. Yeah, these things can do well as well, but obviously it's not been doing well. So I think that also kind of, you know, addresses that. Anyways, your question is, it seems to always come back to $20, but also has a $1 to $3 low. Yeah, I mean, look, I think it has more downside here. So if you are waiting for $3, or I would say like $4 on the upper end to about $3 on the lower end. Yeah, I don't think that's the worst plan of all time, but you know, you're hoping and praying for another one of these moves. Possible, yes. I mean, yes, it has happened in the past, but I don't know, man. I think the game is growth stocks, not value stocks like this. If this even is a value stock, I really don't know. DPS says, GM, sir, what's up, man? SPK 4 on daily. How to read down area of int? I don't know what int means. Intelligence. I played many RPGs, sir. INT means intelligence. I guess we get a coin derp for this one. Okay, it's way too new. This one's way too new to really do a real analysis on, man. If I had to call it, look, you got the price action pivot here at 84444. If you close the daily below there, I'd be looking down towards 6.5 cents. Maybe even lower than that over time. But yeah, I really don't have a strong opinion on something that's this new, man. If I go to a 4-hour time frame, it's really struggling around the 200 simple. Usually you're going to get at least a pity bounce around there. So I wouldn't rule out a short-term bounce back up towards like 9.5, 10 cents first. But yeah, if it closed below that level on a daily, I'd be looking again, you know, about what, 20, 30% lower. So that could be a big move. Good water. Very good water. Holy shit, man. We are blowing through the stream right now. Crazy. Crazy. Okay, we'll keep it going for a little bit longer, I think. Xanar Gaming says, a little behind on stream, just heard the part where you were on the Mist forums. Fellow Misker here. Oh, God. Yeah, man, I used to fucking surf that shit all day, every day in college. Oh, my God, man. So many hours spent scrolling there. Yeah, I didn't hear about Bitcoin there first. I actually heard about Bitcoin in like 2010 or 2011 when I was trying to buy drugs on the internet, and they only accepted Bitcoin. I was like, what the fuck is that? Turns out I should have probably bought more drugs with it. But I didn't. I thought it was sketch. I'm like, this is way too sketch. What, this Bitcoin? This is way too sketch. I'm going to buy my drugs elsewhere with dollars. Anyways, let's see. But Crown, don't you know? The game has changed. The game has changed. Worm69 says, hey, Crown, can you look at REMX daily? Yeah, man. This is one that I called out a long time ago in the Discord. I don't really do that too often, but with the long-term investments, you know, I will do that every once in a while. This one, we were looking at it when it was like 39, 40. Yeah, right here. Exploded all the way to 60. So what is that? Like a... yeah, 50% gain almost. I think it's got a little bit more to go here. I think it gets to at least 60, maybe even as much as like 63. Should be a short-term pullback from there. Overall, I like it. Daily for long-term targets. You've been stuck too much in cryptocurrency land, my man. Daily is not long-term at all. You know, but you are getting ready for a pullback soon. I just think that you got maybe one more splurt up here a little bit more, and then it comes back. Possible bounce zone for Pengu. Pengu sounds very, very legit. Super legit. Maybe Mexi? No. I don't know. I guess this one. Well, actually, better chart than many things. Short term, I do think that it comes down a little bit more. Maybe let's say closer to 3 cents, like 3.1 to 3 even, and then tries for a bounce there. Is that bounce going to be a higher low? I don't fucking know. I don't know about that. I think it might bounce there. I'm not saying it's going to fucking reverse there, though. But yeah, anywhere around here. You see that green 55 on the daily? Like that would be a nice zone to at least be looking for a bounce. But again, that is not the same thing as reversal back into new all-time highs. Like I always say, I'm very skeptical on, you know, this sort of shit. I'm guessing it's like a meme coin. So they all have very limited lifespans, in my opinion. Craden C, what's up, man? Lucifer, who you talking about? Tino, Jason. I don't know Tino. I know Jason. Jason's awesome, man. I was talking with him last night. He's one of my favorite people in the world, man. Yeah. It is true. I do know that many people do reference my content. But it really doesn't bother me that people like reference my content or in some cases just steal my content. Like, especially if they're my friends, like I don't give a fuck, but it kind of does bother me, I will say, when some of the really big channels do it and then they don't give any credit. And I'm just like, sounds like a really similar idea, sir. Oh, you're using an indicator that you've never used before. That is always on my stream. Interesting. But at the end of the day, man, who gives a fuck? Doesn't really matter anyways. Yeah, no bullshit. My buddies paid 25 Bitcoin for half a shrooms. Jesus. That really makes you think, doesn't it? Christina Maria says, good morning to you. Could you check out Coin or ITA? Let's check out ITA. This is like one of my favorite stocks that I hold. Again, full disclosure, I do hold this one, so I'm talking my book here. But of course, like I hold stuff that I actually like because I think it's going to go up. And again, full disclosure, I did buy down here at about 140. So it's gotten to almost $200. So it did get that move to $200. You know, putting in a bit of a high here. You know, overall, this is good. Overall, I do think it will make new highs and it will break out, but it's short-term corrective. Like, I don't think this is happening right now. I think it's more likely to play out some downside, maybe back down to like 190 or even 188 region. Yeah. But, you know, long-term, this is great, in my opinion, especially above 185 long-term, like very, very strong. But it's been such an epic move to the upside. I really think that this thing is going to have a prolonged consolidation relatively soon. Tom says, think you missed Wild earlier. My apologies. If I did, I don't know, did I? You're fired. Wild or World? Well, it's bad, so you probably don't want my opinion on it. But in the short term, can it rally a little bit more? I don't know, maybe. Just don't like charts like this, man. Look, it's getting one of these one-off pumps that you've seen before. Here, 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 here. So it's like, how much higher does it go before it tops out? I mean, might have already done it right here. Personally, I think it will go a little bit higher. I think that it probably gets up to like, I think you get up to like 65, 70 cents and then do another one of those tops. Checks because we missed the last one. Fine. Chintai. Chintai. Shintai. Jinkui. Again, man, I just fucking hate charts like this. It's just a game of finding the next shitty high. Shitty walk, shitty high. Maybe it goes up to like 20, 21, 22 cents first and then puts in a high. You know, I see a lot of major moving averages in that region, like low 20s. You know, it is starting to look a little bit tired here already. Daily volatility already getting up there, but I wouldn't put it past it to see maybe one more splurt up to like low 20s and then turn down. Yeah, not great. Forex, dollar versus the lira. Sure. I actually haven't looked at this in a very long time. Let's see. I mean, last I looked at this one must have been like 2-3 years ago when dollar was just absolutely fucking bending this one over. But apparently it's so bad that my trading view can't even load it now. Strange. Let's try a different chart maybe. Why every time I go to a new window, my chart or my screen reloads? I don't like that. USD TRY. All right, let's try. Okay, there we go. Yeah. What do you know? Dollar is super fucking bullish. Jesus, man. Yeah, last I looked at was maybe here. It was bullish then, it's bullish. I mean, the trend is your friend. I guess that's what hyperinflation looks like. I mean, shit, man, they must be really bad because the US dollar is inflating as well. So the lira has to be inflating even more so. I mean, this is where you just cannot trust indicators. Like, look at this. Jesus. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. It's all good, Creighton. It's all good, man. Favorite car for cruising Florida? I don't even have a license, man. I'm trying to get a license on Monday, but I need to pass a driver's test, and I might even need to take the fucking the driver, like the actual driver's test, you know, on the road again, because my license expired like, I don't know, 5 years ago. It's been a while. I'm not looking forward to that, man. If I was buying a nice car, I don't know, man, I'd buy like a fucking, one of those Rolls Royces would be pretty baller to cruise the streets. Go with Boris says, good morning. Regards from Brazil. What's up, man? Boris BG. It was not even just a nice positive message. I appreciate that, man. More power to you. I know a lot of people immigrating to Brazil as well. And I'm guessing you're not Brazilian yourself. And yeah, because I'm guessing that flag is that Romanian, Hungary, or Bulgaria? Oh man, I sound so stupid, but yeah, I actually really don't know. But it's probably not Brazil. Anyways, yeah, man, a lot of people love it there. They also say it's incredibly dangerous, but yeah, buy a Tesla, don't need to drive. Yeah, maybe, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. That actually would be a genius way to do the driver's ed test. Just take a Tesla and be like, no problem. It's Bulgaria. Got it. Yeah, we got some Bulgarians in the house. Bulgarians have always been super chill people when I met them in person, man. And just remember to signal and check your mirrors often. I got it, man. Actually, we did do, Christina Maria, we actually did do ITA just for you. We did ITA and you didn't even see it. It was just like a minute or two ago. It's really not that long ago. Oh, what? Damn it. All my browser pages just reload on their own. I don't even tell them to reload, and I do not like that. Only Rio is dangerous. The rest is good. If that's true, that's cool. Bitcoin actually coming down here a little bit now. So yeah, I think it's really starting to look, I mean, got a lot of shit for that analysis calling for, again, it's just a range play to the downside. Crown, why are you so bearish? Why this? Why that? It's like, relax, man. It's just stats. Don't have to be fucking mad. It's just stats. You don't have to be mad. It's just stats. All right? I'll show you a video. You don't have to be mad. It's only a game. Oh, there's probably like...
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Yeah. It's only stats.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad? It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Why you have to be mad?
How much soy did he eat?
He's just Russian trying to speak English, okay?
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
It's only a game.
Okay, now you should tell the difference.
You want to look at MicroStrategy? Sure. I think we do need to shut it off soon, though. Where is my micro derp? It's on my other thingy. Whatever. As an American that has never left this country, do other countries view us as superior to? No, other countries don't give a fuck, honestly. I can tell you straight up, like, if you think the rest of the world gives a fuck about America, they actually really don't. It's just in America where we're kind of told that and conditioned with that from growing up. And look, I've lived in a lot of places in Europe and across the world, in the Middle East, and obviously in America as well. And outside of America, people really just don't give a fuck. Like, but in America, we, for some reason, think that the world revolves around us, and every other country thinks that, like, we're the best. But they actually don't really care. In fact, most countries think that we're kind of crazy. But yeah, I can also confirm that after living in Europe for 7-8 years now, or, you know, a very long time, like, no, America's better. But yeah, they really don't give a fuck. I think MicroStrategy is putting a major high here, to be honest with you. I really do. The monthly is the tell on this one. I mean, look, it's got another couple weeks to go. So, you know, if, like, let's say this month finished above like 380. Okay, I think that keeps hope alive, but still, this is a downside bias in my opinion for MicroStrategy, down to like low 300s. That, again, this is my opinion, like low 300s. Yeah. I'm happy to be wrong in this, by the way, like very happy to be wrong, but I would be looking towards low 300s. I think it's coming back down here, honestly. Yeah, zero fucks given for me. It really is, man. Most other countries don't care. And look, like every country has their own pros and cons. You know, they all have something that they have better than America. Like Finland has bidets. America doesn't have bidets. All right, so that they have better. Everything else, not better. Now, why is that funny? Elsa says she can confirm. Just,
We have the best water.
oh, Finland does have really good water, though. I will say, yeah, they got the best water and they have bidets. All right, that they have over America for sure, 100%. But I will say the water in Oregon is probably as good or very close to Finland. It was really, really good when I was living there. It's like actually really strong. Crown, do you think Palantir is a market cap play to 1 trillion? I have no idea. Engine Meta says CRWV, want to get in, but more downside first, question mark. All right. Let's see. CoreWeave. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I do think that there is more down. I mean, one massive bearish engulfing dildo on the weekly. It's going to close in 5 hours. Anywhere below 100 will do it. I think that there could be a lot more downside if that happens, man. So again, it's a long day left to go, 5 hours, but if that happens, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing another, 20-30% lower, towards 70-ish. Finland has better weed. That is certainly not true. I can confirm that 100%, man. Also not legal there. I had my first dispensary experience for the first time. It was very pleasant, actually. Very nice. I thought it was going to be, just like, I don't know, like a fucking shitty pawn shop sort of experience, like in a broken down place. It wasn't. It was like LCD TVs and really nice people and really knowledgeable. Look, I know everyone here thinks medical marijuana is just a big joke and it's just ha ha ha. You're taking medical marijuana. You're being silly. But it's not. It's a real medical situation. Gallo says, wouldn't it be just wise to short it once we believe the Bitcoin cycle top is in for MicroStrategy? I guess. I don't know. I guess. I mean, because MicroStrategy theoretically should mimic Bitcoin's moves, but be more volatile, and that means both the upside and the downside. So, yeah. I mean, let's see. Like, if we were to see MicroStrategy back down to, let's say, 310, that's a 32% move. And comparing that to Bitcoin, I mean, back down to 112, that's a 10% move. Even down to like fucking 107, that's a 13% move. I mean, yeah. I'm addicted to watching Rasta mashups of popular songs on YouTube, like with AI slop. It's really good. It's honestly so good. It's so good, man. Most of you don't even have a passport, let alone travel, says Dale Lane. I don't know if you can confirm that, but sure. Some anger there. I don't know. Like, it's okay, man. No fat flight attendants except in the USA. I don't know. There have been some. That's true. Creighton C says, I will say this about the Finns. Finnair has... they did give Elsa lots of compliments. Yeah, that's body shaming. Creighton C says, I will say this about the Finns. Finnair has the best flight attendants. Really? They were so nice, just super sweet and friendly. Oh, I actually do think that Finnair is like, the experience there is pretty good, but the flight attendants are not the fucking highlight for me, man. Yeah, I'd have to say I have not had the same experience, but I'm glad that you had a good one, ma'am. Can you look at the Russell 2000? Sure. Good pullback area here, but overall, I mean, if not now, when? You got a low, you got a higher high, you got a higher low. The trend is in motion. I would like to see it follow through in the next I would like to see it follow through before end of year, really. Yeah, if not now, when for this thing? It's like Ethereum. Watched a small video about strategy yesterday. Interesting opinions of how he could crash it all as Fox did, but more cruel. I really don't know about that. I know that people have some like pretty well thought out opinions on it. It's all over my head, to be honest. I'm just a simple redact chart watcher, but I guess, I mean, look, like the thing with MicroStrategy is his offerings have gotten so complicated that it goes over my head. And my rule with investing, and this is not like a just crown only rule, like many people know this. If I don't understand it, I'm just not going to fucking touch it. Like, I'd rather just buy Bitcoin than buy something like that. So yeah, all good, Christina Marie, all good. Bit of a delay, no problem. It's been like 6 years since I remember crown streaming while I was at work. Yeah, it's been a while since we were streaming from these time zones. Finnair ground service is weak, but on a plane, I like it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like they're like plane wise, I honestly think no, I think it's fine. It's just they have so many goddamn strikes that like your flight is very likely to be canceled. Because that's the thing. Finnair, I think, is like partially owned by the government, so the workers there just strike all the fucking time because they know if they strike and request more money that they will get it. It's great, man. Also, same thing with the grocery stores. I think the grocery stores are government owned. There's K Market and S Market. Amazing. Like, trust the government to think of a really unique name, and they just strike all the time, and then they get more money. It's pretty hilarious. So you have to have a passport to travel. I mean, if you want to travel outside of the U.S., yeah. Oh, maybe that's a joke, and I just completely fucked it up. All good, man. All good. You want to look at SPX 6900? Let's look at this one. This one definitely caught me by surprise. I'll say that. I think this one even made new all-time highs. Yeah, it did. Oh, holy shit! It sold off really aggressively from those. That looks pretty suspect to me, man. This has got to be a high for a long time here. That is an ugly sell-off. But hey, I got to give it to them. They did make a new high, and I did not think that was going to happen. Down 40%. I think that this thing's coming down, honestly, to $1 or close to $1, something like that. Something like this. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it for us today. Yeah. We'll be back on Monday. I think we'll continue with the Monday, Wednesday, Friday live streams. It's been pretty damn fun. I really enjoy everyone, with the comments and the conversations. That's what makes these really fun. So thank you for joining in as always. We'll be signing off on that note. Like I said, Fibbo Swanee interview coming out tomorrow, and yeah, we'll see you Monday. Best of the best as always. Take care and much love. Until next time.